Hey everybody, it's me, Chef Steve Resnikoff, back again after about a 2-week hiatus. First of all, I want to wish all you mothers a happy Mother's Day, especially with everything that's going on. Mothers with children, especially who've had to go through this home teaching and watching the kids and keeping them occupied. God bless you. You're very strong. I could never do it. Anyway, I also like to, Robin Levine, I just want to let you know, I know you lost your mother recently and this is a tough day for you, but like I said, your mother was in God's hands and she was a good woman. She's in a good place, and that goes for anybody else who lost their mother recently. And to my mom up in heaven, I hope Dad's taking her out to dinner. Okay, let's get along with the show. I'm making something today for you guys, which I guarantee at least 90% of you have never made or tasted in your life. I had a good friend named Big John, who was a musician as well, and decided to study Cajun cooking. He went to New Orleans, he studied in Louisiana under the Chef Paul Prudhomme, and was the first one to bring Cajun cooking to Long Island, New York. His first place was called the Bayou in Belmore, if any of you guys were ever there. His second was the famous Big Daddy's in Massapequa. And John did very, very well and showed me a lot of Cajun dishes. And I remember the first time going into the restaurant, I saw the menu one night, and in most of these places the menus are ever changing every night. And I saw sweet Vidalia onion pie. And I said, sweet Vidalia onion pie? Well, what is this, a dessert? What is it? Well, actually, it's a side dish or an appetizer, and it's probably one of the best, most decadent, richest, delicious side dishes or appetizers I've ever tasted. I was lucky enough to get John's recipe and tweak it out a little bit, and I'm going to present it to you. Just to let you know, this dish will make you a star at Thanksgiving, because other than stuffing, it's 20 times the flavor of stuffing. It pairs wonderfully with turkey. It pairs wonderfully with chicken. So we're going to make it. It's not a hard dish to make. It's a procedure and step dish. So the first thing we're going to do is make the crust. Now, I don't buy a pie tin. I have my Pyrex. Of course, you can buy a pie tin. There's my pie dish. This is a Pyrex. You could buy a pie tin with a pre-made crust. It would completely ruin the recipe. You don't use graham cracker. You don't use anything other than a buttery cracker that's salted. I used Ritz. 4 sleeves come in this box. You can use Toll House, but it must be a buttery, salted cracker. And the reason for that, it's a beautiful item to use as a crust, is because you get butter and salt in it already. Okay, here are all 4 sleeves I put in a bowl. Now come with me, we're gonna move over to the blender or a food processor. I'm going to take the entire 4 packets of Ritz crackers and put them in my blender. A couple on the side, doesn't matter, leave it for the birds. I'm kidding, there are no birds in my house. Okay. We're going to put our top on, our cover. And we're going to pulverize these so we can make the crust. While you're doing this, if you want to dance a little to the pulverizer, you can. I'll be ridiculous. You see, it's pulverizing. minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay, let's leave that for a couple of minutes. Now, to make a mixture to depress our crust into the pie tin, we're gonna take good old butter. I didn't say this is low fat, but man, I'm putting the butter in a small butter, and we want to melt it. Now, just so you're aware, the next step is I'm going to combine the Ritz crackers with the butter. So I have my gloves on, and I'm going to depress it and make a crust. Then a lot of the fun starts. I have already done the onions. Now, this time of year, sweet Vidalia onions, which are the best to use, are not in season. So I used white Spanish onions. By saving time, I've already cut them and sauteed them. You'll see here the size of the cut. These are 4 large size Spanish white onions, which I basically sliced and made 1.5-inch strips. Then I sauteed them in only butter, no oil at all. Butter, butter, butter. This dish is about butter. So, okay, my butter is almost melted. Putting my crackers in another bowl, pulverized crackers. Beautifully done. And my butter mixture is just about done. At this point, I'm turning on my other burner. To a medium flame. This one can now go off. The butter is going into the Ritz cracker. I'm gonna let it cool a little so it doesn't burn my hand. Next step is we're gonna prepare the bacon. This is just, when you think about the ingredients that's going in here, it's ridiculous. It's everything that's delicious and fattening. This is a 12-ounce bag of smokehouse bacon. You can use any bacon you want. You can use smoked bacons. You can use, this is uncured, which I preferred. And now what we're gonna do when we're making this bacon is we are going to cook it par-cooked. We don't want crispy bacon because this whole thing is gonna go in the oven, and we don't want burnt bacon in our pie. So I'm spreading out the slices, gonna get them underway to put into our delicious onion pie. You don't have to move around bacon. Please do not put oil or anything in your pan. Bacon has its own grease, its own fat, which is a delicious fat, I might add, and all chefs actually save bacon grease or bacon fat because it's used in a lot of recipes, believe it or not, and adds incredible flavor. So we're going to leave our bacon to cook. Okay, now I'm going to grab some of the Ritz cracker with the butter. Start forming my bottom crust. Beautiful. Get it as even as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want valleys or lumps. Just building up the sides a little bit. Now I preheated my oven to 375, and the reason being that we're going to do a slight bake on the crust to make it nice and firm. Okay, there's what your crust should look like. Beautiful, buttery, Ritz cracker with salt. We'll pop it in the oven, probably for about 6-7 minutes. Go back and check on my bacon. Okay, this is coming along. Don't forget, we don't want to overcook it. Now, I will give you a few more tips, which I know you guys appreciate. Maybe you know these things, maybe you don't. A lot of people get those big teary eyes when they're slicing onions. Very simple trick. About a half hour before you know you're going to slice an onion, or 2 or 3 or 4, pop them in the skin right in your freezer. Let them stay in there for half an hour, take them out, it removes the gas. Gas is what makes your eyes tear. When you cut them, you're releasing the gas. So a great tip is to put them in the freezer before you're going to do it. If you have no problem with it, don't worry about it. Okay. Once that bacon's done and the pie's done, we're going to start building our filling, my favorite part. bacon be done in about 2-3 minutes. As you can see, getting a little bit brown. We are cooking it. It's not that we're not cooking it in here. We just are not making it crispy. Please do not let your bacon get too crispy, because if you do, it'll overcook when you bake it. In fact, let me get a plate with a paper towel. I'm sure you all know how to do this. I'm going to start removing the pieces that I feel done. That is your perfectly cooked strip of bacon for this recipe. Look at that, man. Looks not too much better than bacon. Great story about this recipe. I was working for a friend in his restaurant in Long Island, in Call Place, actually, called 490 West. My good friend Pat Apolito. Now, Pat was a trained executive chef as well, but he owned the restaurant and he hated to cook. So I went in there and did cooking for him. And we were about 4 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and I said, hey, Pat, I'm going to give you something new to put on your menu for Thanksgiving. And he said, what do you mean, what? We'll make turkey. I said, no, not that. I said, I'm going to make you a sweet Vidalia onion pie. And he looked at me the same way I guess I looked at Big John when I went in there. He said, sweet Vidalia onion pie? What's that? So I said, you'll see. I'll make it. So I made it for him, and for the 4 weeks before Thanksgiving, I made a few of the pies, and I was giving them as a sample to the regular customers that were coming in, which was brilliant of me, because, mockingly, because what ended up happening was people were calling to pre-order me, making the sweet Vidalia onion pies so they could take home for Thanksgiving pickup. So it sort of backfired. That's how good this is. Okay. We're going to take our bacon. Oh boy. I want to eat it right now. And on my cutting board, cutting it up into pieces. So you want like between 1/8 and 1/4 inch pieces of bacon that are going to go directly into your onion mixture. Now, always to test and make sure that it's good, I have a very simple test, which I know all of you can't do, and I apologize for that, but this counts on a taster. So let me call Link. Hey, Link! Come here, boy. You guys know Link. We're out to introduce you to Link. Link, you want some bacon? How is it? Perfect? Look at the tail, guys. Look at the tail. That's my man. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay, relax. Link says it's good. It's good. Okay, so we have our bacon chopped. Okay, let's check on that pie crust. Which is now perfect. You can tell by touch it's solid. Use a mitt always when you're taking it out. Here comes the fun part, guys. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is take 2 eggs, crack it into the onion. Don't forget these onions, you don't see anything brown. You only cook them till they're translucent. Taking a little paprika. Say maybe a teaspoon. We don't need a lot of salt because there is salt in the crust, like I said. Kosher salt, you can see. Sprinkling until it just covers it. Black pepper. Sour cream. Use whole milk sour cream. Don't use, we're not going to skip on fat now. I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Now here what I have is a mixture of 4 shredded cheeses. I have a sharp cheddar, you can see, which is the yellow. I have Asiago, I have Parmesan, Reggiano, and I have mozzarella. This beautiful cheese mixture is going to go in with the onions. Bacon time. Now mixing time. Make sure you get a good mix. More bacon. A little more cheese. There is our pie filling. Take off these gloves. We're just about there, guys. Okay. Now we're going to take a spoon. Spoon our pie mixture. Oh my God. This pie does not have a top crust. If you want to make one, you can. I like it just like this. Gets in the oven, browns off a little bit. Make sure you spread it as evenly as you can. Remaining bits of bacon on top. Shredded cheese spread on top of that. I'm going to take a piece of tin foil, which is optional. Don't forget our oven is already preheated, 375. I'm going to loosely top this. Put on my glove. There goes the baby back in the oven. We're gonna leave it in the 375 oven for 20 minutes. So I'll be back in 20 minutes to show you the finished product. Until then, see ya. Okay, I'm back. The pie's been baking in the oven for 20 minutes. It's finished. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. This is a thing of beauty, absolute gluttony, and just ridiculous taste. There is your sweet Vidalia onion pie. As you can see, all the cheeses have melted. There's some bacon on top. Don't forget there's cheese, sour cream, egg through this. As far as serving it, it's not easy to serve because it's not like a regular pie. You just make slices. You can try, let it cool down, make some slices, and then get a good spatula and go underneath. Or you could just use a scooper, scoop out your portions, but you gotta taste this pie. Thanks again, everybody be well. Hopefully we'll be able to get together soon. I know I'm planning on coming to Florida, so I'd like to see a lot of my friends when I come down there, and I'll cook at your house for a small fee. Just kidding. So from me, Suzanne, Link, wherever Link is, Link. There he is. Goodbye from Fort Lee, New Jersey. Link, you know, just so you know, was a judge on Guys Grocery Games and Chopped. So when he tasted that bacon, he gave it the thumbs up.